Today on BRStv Reef FAQs, we answer, can you really use the Triton method to eliminate the need for water changes with your reef tank? Hi, I'm Ryan, your host of BRStv Reef FAQs. Today we answer the most common question about the Triton method, can you really stop doing water changes? Reality is no one likes hauling buckets of water around, and reducing the work involved in maintaining the tank has a direct causation to the lifespan of the tank. Outside of crappy heaters with no backup controller, the #1 cause of tank failure is the tank's extreme dependence on the availability of time from the caregiver. In this case, meaning you, and the tank's dependence on water changes. If you stop doing them because you're busy, particularly in the first few years, or stop doing them without a well-designed approach, the chances for success go down. Inversely, if you reduce your tank's reliance on your personal time or implement a well-thought-out approach to reducing water changes, there will be a much higher percentage path to a 5 to 10-year reef tank and long-term success. So today's question is an unequivocal yes. You can use the Triton method to drastically reduce the tank's dependence on you to do water changes. I say that as someone who ran the Triton method for a couple of years and documented the results on a public tank with the BRS 160. The way the owner of Triton described the Triton method is a 3-pronged approach to maintaining healthy biology in a reef tank, including light, filtration, and chemistry. At the most basic level, the reason why you can drastically reduce water changes is because most of us are doing water changes to limit the buildup of excess nitrate and phosphate, remove general contaminants, and to some degree maintain minor and trace elements. The Triton method relies on a well-lit refugium for nutrient removal, which absolutely works, high-quality carbon to remove many general contaminants, their Core 7 4-part to maintain undesirable elements, and ICP tests to provide a window into the elevated elements and overall chemistry. If the ICP tests detect low elements, they suggest dosing those specific elements. If something is elevated or out of line with natural seawater, only then perform a water change. In majority of cases outside of that, you're just exchanging good water with good water, which is kind of a waste of time and money. So there's no question this is an approach to reduce the reef tank's reliance on water changes and your time. However, there are a couple of notable caveats to that. The Triton method eliminates the shotgun approach to water changes, which is just do them all the time, regardless of if the tank actually requires it and you know you're covered. And that replaces that with a water change approach of testing and only performing them when the data shows that it's required. So this means when the test says do the water changes, you have to do them for this method to work. If you ignore the testing data, don't be surprised when you start to experience mortalities. The testing approach to water changes only works if you follow the advice of the test. So be aware that the Triton method isn't designed to eliminate water changes altogether, but more so just to reduce them to when they're needed. This is the second caveat. Well, the sexy piece of the Triton system is the thought of eliminating or reducing water changes. That's really just a side effect of our overall approach to quality filtration and chemistry. Some of you may find that rather than focus on how to eliminate water changes, it's just easier and more effective to find ways to make water changes easier so it doesn't matter. For example, well, I personally like the Triton method and the overall approach and results, particularly the 4-part Core 7 solution, which is specifically designed for a refugium. In fact, the only major minor and trace element solution designed for use with the refugium and the related element uptake that I'm aware of. However, in the end, I just found it was easier to implement auto water changes than monitor and correct chemistry imbalances with testing. In the end, I think water changes and testing and dosing individual elements end up to be pretty similar in cost. The Triton system on auto water changes is what I call a hybrid solution to some degree, but just one of the available approaches. We use the Neptune dose for our auto water changes, but there are a variety of options out there. If you want to learn more about how to use the Neptune dose for this, Randy did an awesome spotlight, so check it out. See you next week with another batch of BRStv Reef FAQs.